Hello, everybody. It's the Gaming Optimist, and today I'm talking about Final Fight. Why did I say it like that? I'm talking about Final Fight. Status beat. Final Fight. Beat 'em ups. Gotta love them. In Metro City, ex-pro wrestler slash mayor Mike Hager. Um, is that how you say his name? Hager. Has just had his daughter Jessica kidnapped by Belger, the wheelchair-riding leader of the Mad Gear Gang. Cody, that's my name. Jessica's boyfriend and Cody's implied BFF guy join Haggard, I'm gonna say Haggard, in the rescue of Jessica, with Cody basically leading the charge. Turns out these three are capable of seriously fucking people up. Throughout the game, you fight a bunch of people, including a trans woman. Oh, Capcom, I love you to death. Note, I do not hate trans people. This is 2015. I'm pretty progressive. Holy shit. This game is fucking great. Such a classic. I implore you guys to sit down and enjoy this seriously awesome beat 'em up. No, it teaches what's that called? Equal rights, bro. Equal fists. Like you're all gonna get it. Yeah, there's. I'll talk about that. So Final Fight's a classic. It's such a great game. They made Street Fighter. Street Fighter was basically a beat 'em up. The first Street Fighter. Street Fighter Two became a fighting. Final Fight was supposed to be the sequel to Street Fighter. I think is what I remember. And they were like, we kind of want to step away from the beat 'em up genre with Street Fighter. Let's just have this be something completely different. So, so completely different characters and shit like that. Cody's pretty cool. He's got the the tight white shirt tucked into his skinny jeans, fucking tight fit jeans, white sneaks, and then he's just beating ass, fucking like parted white hairstyle, cookie cutter motherfucker. Guy is where it's at. Asian dude, fucking orange suit, and then Mike Hager, buff as fuck, suspenders, like just goes shirtless. Like Mayor Hager, what are you doing? And he's just like, shut the fuck up, tree trunk, fucking buff as, oh, beating ass. Like these three people are people you don't want to fuck with. You fight a lot of people. There's Sodom. There's a character named Sodom, who is a samurai, a literal fucking samurai with a sword and Yoshimitsu mask from fucking Tekken, and he's just fucking teleporting. And there's an army dude. Fuck, I forgot his name. He's in They take a lot of these characters and they put them in uh the future of Street Fighter, which is pretty badass. Um, and then uh, you go to save Jessica. Belger's the guy who's in a wheelchair. He's got a shotgun. There's Andor and Andor Jr. that are basically based on Andre the Giant. There's a girl named Poison. And I think there's another girl. Fuck, what are their names? Roxy, Poison, and is it Roxy? Street Fighter. No, not Street Fighter. Final Fight. Huge controversy. Japan are so fucking next level. Roxy's a palette swap of Poison. Poison has purple hair. Roxy has orange. They're both basically implied to be streetwalkers, prostitutes. Um, and Poison was okay. Here's Poison. And Poison, let me just be frank. Poison is sexy as shit. Um, when it comes to like fucking hentai and stuff, and like being one of those nerds, bro, Poison is such a fucking queen. Originally conceived as a female thug in Final Fight and part of the game's antagonist group Maggie, concerns during the game's development were about reactions from North American audiences to fighting women, led to the character being reimagined as a new half. Is that a slur? A slur? Even Wikipedia is like, Wikipedia has no page on new half. They're like, what's the Wiktionary? What does the Wiktionary say? A trans woman. It's slang for a trans woman. I don't think they appreciate being called new halves nowadays. However, that was not considered satisfactory, and both Poison and her palette swap Roxy were replaced by the male characters Billy and Sid, and have been for every subsequent North American port of the title on Nintendo consoles and handhelds. After the Final Fight series, she later appeared wrestler Hugo Ondor, acting as his manager, with her schemes revolving around finding a tag team partner for him or developing their own wrestling organization. Poison first appeared as a playable character in Final Fight Revenge. Oh, you play it? Oh, it's a fighting game. 3D fighting game. She was also to appear in both Capcom Fighting All Stars and Final Fight Streetwise. However, the former was canceled, and she was omitted from the latter as development progress. That's a shame. Following those aborted attempts, she ended up appearing as a playable character on Street Fighter Cross Tekken. She was also added as a playable character to Ultra Street Fighter 4. The character's potential status as a trans woman, consciously left ambiguous by the developers, has remained a topic of frequent debate by both fans and media alike. Let's just get this out of the way. She had a dick at one point. She was born male. She identified as female. Her name's Poison. Get it right. That's her name now. Roxy is like her best friend. That's her bitch. They're dope as fuck together. They're not dating. They probably fucked. Who knows? But Poison then fully transitioned. Now she has a pussy. That's just how it is. She's new half. Oh my god. Sounds like something out of fucking Harry Potter. Oh my god, it's a new half. Watch out. Thing's got a dick. Fucking Poison. Come on now. Like, there's so many characters that Japan has made, and they're like, North America's not gonna like this. Let's make them hate it even more by trying to be inclusive to the trans community or LGBT. I love to think that Billy and Sid that replaced them, fucking horrible, horrible choice. We should be allowed to beat on women and trans people in video games. Come on now. But Billy and Sid, I like to imagine as like a homosexual couple. They're fucking each other, raw dogging for sure. Yeah, this has just become a review on Poison now. Just who cares about Final Fight? Final Fight, what? Final Fight is hands down like my favorite beat 'em up. I would say the most iconic beat 'em up of all time. Of all time. Streets of Rage, of course, is up there too. But Final Fight is a better Streets of Rage in my opinion. Streets of Rage is cool, but Final Fight is fuck me. And then some people were like, "What about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Turtles in Time?" I don't. Yes, it's cool. It's really dope. But Final Fight, man, it's so simplistic in its setting. Like, it's a city. Going through a city, there's trash cans, pick up trash can. Oh, there's chicken in the trash can and you're fucked up? Eat the chicken, you're better now, bro. Keep beating ass. Fight your way across town. You know what? It's kind of like the Warriors, in a way. You're fighting from one side of the city to the next, trying to save. It's kind of like Warriors. Warriors is trying to get back home. Man, what a fucking great game. I was still talking about trans people though. Okay, so Poison. There's a character in one of the Paper Marios named Vivian, who's a ghost, and she, I think you probably uses they pronouns. Maybe Vivian Paper Mario Wiki already got it. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door later joined the. In the Japanese version, European language translation, she is a transgender woman. While the script in English releases was altered to remove any mention of her trans status because North America hates trans people. We are like the worst country for that kind of shit. Inclusivity, what is that? Huh? They, them. Who's they? Who's that's a she? Yes. That looks like a female to me. Why are they saying he? And why did they cut their hair so short? Why are you so fucking nosy, Grandma? Shut the fuck up. See, why change her to be female when she's a transgender woman? But some people might argue, well, why point out the fact that she's transgender? She's just a woman. Like, there's a fine line that we're walking here. But I feel like these conversations need to happen. And everyone's different. Everyone reacts differently to it. If I slip up, I'm like, oops, and I misgender someone, like, fuck, I like immediately go into panic mode. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't. I feel like we should get to a point where that doesn't happen anymore, and people just stop being sensitive and like, hey, you fucked up, you made a mistake. Here we go. If I'm doing it all the time, and it's like, okay, I this isn't a coincidence, then yeah, I get it. But like, dude, um, Vivian has been called one of the best LGBTQ characters in video games, but the way the Japanese version of the game depicts her and her gender identity has received some criticism. See, there you go. Because like her sisters are like, oh, what the fuck, fucking shit. In the Italian version, in particular, emphasizes her status as a trans woman by having Vivian express pride in having transitioned. She pushes back against her sister's bullying by saying, "I'm proud to have turned into a woman." It's fucking great. Vivian is a transgender woman and is mocked by Beldam, her two older sisters, Beldam and Marilyn. Beldam misgenders her and calls her a crossdresser. Um, how is that? It's cool that she fights back. And then she assists Mario. Like Mario is like respective of her trans status and treats her as her. Like, oh Vivian, you're not a guy, you're a girl. That's cool. Roll with me. Your sisters are fucking toxic. So cool. And then one more, let's talk about because these reviews are off the fucking chain. Birdo, known in Japanese as Catherine, what the fuck, is a fictional character in the Mario franchise. Her first appearance was as an enemy in Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, which was localized for English language audiences as Super Mario Bros. 2, because Super Mario Bros. 2 was the Lost Levels, as it's called, the Japanese exclusive, and then it came to America later on. Was way too fucking difficult for American audiences. They were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like Japan knew they were like, North America can't handle this. You get like a fucking, and then some games like Spyro and Ratchet and Clank, that are made in North America for their Japanese ports, they're made easier for some reason. Um, but yeah, Doki Doki Panic was this game about this kid having a dream, and they were like, "Fuck the kid, we're just gonna put Mario here, and then we're gonna have him have the dream instead." And so since then, Birdo has been a recurring character in various franchise spin-offs. Initially, she was depicted as an antagonist, but has been depicted as an ally. Has since been depicted as an ally. Birdo also made several cameos, particularly in the Mario Kart series and the Japan only Wii game. Blah blah blah. The English manual for Super Mario Bros. Refers to Birdo as male, who thinks he is a girl and would prefer to be called Birdetta. Some take that as a representation of Birdo as transgender, making her the first transgender video game character. Later releases of Super Mario Bros. 2 removed all mentions of her favorite nickname. Starting with Mario Tennis, Nintendo has treated Birdo as just female and depicted her as romantically involved with Yoshi. So Yoshi is getting some nice pink dick. Unless Birdo, I think Birdo by now is fully transitioned. I think she can afford it. She can afford the transition. I think that's a big problem for people that want to transition. It's a huge risk you're taking. It's a huge body change. I get it, but man, that shit's expensive. That's why you don't see a lot of people actually fully transition because we're broke as a nation. The characters receive mostly positive reception. Blah, 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 blah. Although her appearance and gender identity have received mixed reception because, again, North America's like, I take Birdo as a female that fully transitioned. There you go. Mm-hmm. She's become a trans icon due to her gender identity. She's been credited as an early transgender video games. Manual excerpts did not receive attention until sometime after the game's release. And I remember being a kid and being like, "That's so weird," but like in a not weird, but like queer in a fascinating sense. Because queer, a lot of people talk about now, like it's completely about gay, and it can be used as a slur or a description depending on who's using it. But queer has always been odd. Yes, strange or odd. She had a queer feeling that they were being watched. Um, but often offensive of a person homosexual. But some like gay people that are like, or trans or anyone like we're part of the queer community. We're queer. Um, I back then I looked at things like that with in queer fascination. Like wow, like that's so strange and new, and I want to learn about it. And I've tried to be like to learn a lot. I just like fucking back in 2015. That's like was that 7 years ago now? What the fuck? Is that seven? Did I do the math right just now? Yes, I did. So almost 7 years ago. Um, I was 20. I was 23. Yes, because I'm about to be 30 this year. So I was 23. I was still kind of a I was young. Um, and I worked with trans people, and I remember I even had this conversation with my coworker who's trans, and I remember telling her it's I don't get it, but it's not for me to get. It's not for me to understand because it's not my story. It's not my path. I'm not trans. I identify as a straight male. Do what you want to do. Do whatever makes you happy. And who gives a fuck? It's so weird. I'm going off on this whole tangent, but like I worked at Walmart for almost 5 years, and this person that I worked with, they everybody hated her, including me. I'll be honest, but I didn't like her because she was mean. They didn't like her because she was trans. What a weird like you have to make yourself mad. And I've had this conversation many times, and I have it in my head. Like this has been almost like rehearsed to death, kind of with everybody that I've talked to about it with. But it's like that's you have to make yourself mad. You have to go out of your way to be like I fucking hate that person. Um, it's wild to me. Like what? Why? Why? Like why don't you just hate them for the content of their character, not the color of the skin, content of their character. Hate them for being a shitty person, not for being trans. And I have misgendered people. I misgendered her. I knew her birth name, and I fucking her dead name, and I fucking went off one day about it. I don't think she heard me. I think we talked about it before. And then at when I came to Target, um, years later, uh, almost 5 years later, I got fired. I went to Target. She hugged me and said, "I'm so sorry. What happened to you?" Completely different person, completely different environment. Not completely different. She's still an asshole, but like a lovable asshole now. So it's like respect. Um, but now I'm just gonna put a pin in that conversation because I feel like I said everything that I need to say. Really, trans rights. You know what I mean? LGBTQ all the way, and everybody needs to stop fucking fighting against everybody else. Like, there's a lot of division in the LGBT community that I've seen, and I think everybody should just shut the fuck up and just love everybody. Um, some gay people who don't like lesbians, I think it's gross. Well, obviously, dumbass, it's, pussy's not for you. You're gay. You like dick. Lesbians are like, ew. Gay people, fucking ew. It's like, yeah, you don't like dick, dumbass. Go fucking eat some pussy, throw on a strap on, whatever. Do what you gotta do. Trans people, there's there's a lot everywhere that I feel like just let's stop. You can have feelings, you can have your thoughts, you can have your opinions. If you think it's gonna be a divisive opinion, or if you're gonna be argumentative and debate, and like you're gonna fucking make someone feel like shit because of their like, we should just stop and respect one another. That's it. It's a fuck. End of story. Stop the cancel culture. Stop hating everybody. Stop fighting. Shut the fuck up and just love each other. It's that simple. The best way you can love somebody that is toxic is distance. Like, peace, deuces. I don't need you. You go be peaceful in your own bubble. I'll be peaceful in mine. Bam. That's simple. You think it would be. And then there's people that like want to fucking shoot up schools and stuff. This went a whole different way. That's Final Fight for you guys. Um, It's a really fun game. And think about the conversation that we just had. I don't know what you guys have said to me. I don't know if you clicked off like, ugh. Guys talking about lady penis a lot. No, I'm not. I'm just talking. Poison is hot. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. That's the point of the whole thing. Is poison's hot. I'm just trying to rationalize it in my straight mind. Um, yeah, we're still covering Capcom Classic Collection for the next couple of weeks. But that's for now. That's Final Fight. I have to play the other ones before I can review one of my favorite terrible video games of all time. And we'll do that eventually. But for now, Final Fight. And yeah, it's that iconic of a game that we've had a 20-minute video about trans rights. You guys have a good one. Take care. Be happy with who you are. Be happy with where you are, with how you are, with why you are. Just love yourself. Bye, everybody.